and friends, here we go again.
Hi, and thanks for joining us in this PWA Enter the Colosseum gameplay video. I'm the lead game designer, Andrew Davis, and joining me today is the lead balance designer, the man with the plan, Tom Dixon. Tom, how you going?
I'm going great, everybody. We're going to get going today with our inaugural play here. So I'm going to be Ricky South, and you're Jessica Troy.
Yes, the last year, one of the two main events of the Colosseum tournament, then 950-something day champion against Jessica Troy, who had worked so hard to get a title shot, and she ended up victorious. It was an unbelievable match, and we recreate that match with this game and many other matches as well. So before we get too far deep into it, let's see who goes first. We're going to shuffle up our playbook here, and we'll see how this goes. So basically, every card in the game has a cost. You can see it in the upper left-hand corner, and a damage amount. You can see it in the upper right-hand corner. Whoever has the bigger cost gets to go first. I have a 3. What do you have? You have an 8.
Yep, so I get to go first. So you can choose to put this card on top or the bottom of your playbook. I'm going to choose to put mine on the bottom. So yeah, I just flip it back over and stick it underneath like that.
So I put it on top and then drew it right away. At the beginning of the game, you draw one card from your playbook, and then you draw 5 cards from this other deck. So wrestlers have 2 decks in this game. You've got the playbook, and then you've got this deck of basic cards. The basics are the same for everybody. It's the same 20 cards for everybody because they all have a basic foundation from where they come from. Whereas the playbook is where you get to really specialize. So we can see here Ricky South is a powerhouse. He fights dirty. He's a technician. He's a striker. He's a ring veteran. You know, that's who he is, and those are the cards he's allowed to play. Whereas Jessica is a technician. She's a fan favorite, fundamentally sound, strong style, a ring veteran. And, you know, you can see here I've got a fundamentally sound card out of the playbook, and all the other cards in the deck are of those different playbooks. So let me draw my 5 cards and get into it. So we start the game with 3 momentum. Momentum tells you how well you're doing in the match in terms of getting the crowd behind you, the energy of the match. And the more of that you have, the bigger the moves you can attempt to go for. However, go ahead, Tom.
Ricky South gets to set the example, and his opponents begin the match with 1 less momentum. It was an homage to him being champion for so long and the fact that he had built such a large resume.
Yeah.
So opponents begin with a big disadvantage of losing a momentum.
Yeah, it's no bueno, but we'll fight back from underneath. We know how this works. All right, so
You'll try.
Well, I'll try my best. Listen, if I can be like Jessica Troy when I grow up, I'll be a very happy person.
Sure.
All right,
Jessica's
so
awesome.
Tom goes first. What do you got for me?
Okay, well, I do have 3 momentum, so I can play a lot of the moves. So almost every move in the basic decks costs 3 or 4. There's one, I think, one that costs 5, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited to lead out with Dropkick. So Dropkick is a leg extended agility running move. You can see in the center there. And then in the top, you can see what it can counter, but since it's being played as an attack, that's not relevant for Dropkick, but the entry can look at their hand and see what's going on.
Yeah, so leg extended and running are the 2 very important words here. Look at that. You're even drop kicking Jessica in that art. That's horrible. We don't like this. So we need to find a leg extended counter. And as you see, I'm scrolling through my deck, or running counter. So, you know, I could do that. I'm probably going to do that, actually. But before I do any of that, I'm hurting for momentum. You know, I start with 1 less than he does. So on when it's your turn to act, you can exert your wrestler, turn it sideways or turn it, you know, diagonal, whatever you want, and discard a card. I'm going to discard this card here, this action to the corner. And when you do that, you can do one of 2 things. You can either gain a momentum or you can draw a card. And generally speaking, early in the match, you use it to gain momentum, and later in the match, you use it to draw cards. but not always, because sometimes there's a move coming in that's so important, it doesn't matter that you're going to be down on momentum. You have to find a counter. This isn't that. I don't want to get a drop kick, but I will if I have to. But as it happens, he's running, and I have an answer. So here is a card called Hip Toss. So Hip Toss, see at the top it says counters arm extended, and it counters with an asterisk, in close and running. And those asterisks are to let you know, hey, there's more to it. Look down in the bottom text box. If I spend 1 heat, this counters running moves. So that's what these little red beads are. Heat. You start the match with 3 momentum. You also start with 3 heat. Heat is how well the crowd is into you, and for good or for bad. So you can build it up with some moves and spend it on other moves. And here's where I'm spending it. So now he's got to find a counter for in close.
Well, conveniently, my playbook had a gift for me, which is a low-cost card that I could play to counter in close moves. And I'm going to play Standing Side Headlock, which counters in close and is itself in close.
Yeah, and speaking of, by the way, so that there's Delta. She will not be in the final art of the game, but she's facing Jessica Troy this weekend at the Metro, at King of the Metro, and she's going to try and get the title away from Jessica, and that match is going to be epic. So here we are. So you're in close to me, and I don't think I have. Well, yeah, I could. Yeah, let's do that here. All right, so you're going to go for the standing side headlock. You're already down there. I'm going to drop out on my knee and go for a takedown.
Okay.
So I'm
so
head
takedown
down.
And head down, yeah.
I've exposed my head. Nothing bad could possibly happen here.
Never. I don't have a head down counter, so I'm going to exert Ricky South. So I have 2 choices. I could either draw a card, or first I have to discard. I'm also going to discard to the corner. I could draw from my basics deck, or I could gain a momentum. Similar to you, I'm not too worried about taking this takedown, so I'm going to happily gain a momentum. Okay. Since I don't have any counters and I pass back to you, or sorry, since I don't have any counters, the move connects.
Move connects. So a few things happen. So when this connects, the card says takedown. So that means they're on the mat, and there are card effects that care about that. I could also go for the pin. I'm not doing that yet. It's way too early in the match. I gain a momentum. Whenever you land a move, you always gain a momentum. You can pretend that that's on every single card. And because I countered my opponent's move and that countering move connected during each segment, I get to draw a card when I get to do that. So that's her ability at the beginning of the game. So I'm going to draw a card for that. Yay. She's a defensive counter puncher, and you see that there. Okay, so now this move is connected. We're going to move it out of the way. And I've landed 1 move.
Oh, it also does damage. We got to make sure we get
damage.
that.
Right, by the way. Yeah. I did hit you with the takedown.
So in the upper right corner, you'll see there's number 2, so it does 2 damage. So I have to mark that over here. Yep. So you basically have to track 2 things, track 4 things, but 2 things that are constantly changing, which is your momentum and your damage. So that's what these counters are for. In real life, you could just use a die or a pen and paper. It's a little bit easier than this, but this is what we got for them.
Yeah, I use a 20-sided die to count the momentum, and I've used pen and paper for the damage as it goes. But you know, in the game, we'll have little trackers that you can use as well. So I've connected with the move. If you connect with 3 moves, you win the segment. So we have a spot, and we take turns in that spot to see who's going to connect with the move. When you connect with the move, that ends the spot. Then you start another spot, and we're going to do that now. When a new spot begins, we each get our wrestler prepared straight up, and then we draw a card. You can draw from either deck. I'm going to draw from that one, and we're racing to see who can connect with 3 moves. Oh, that's good. Oh, I drew a good card. Did you know I could draw a good card? It tends to not happen for me as much as I'd like, but I'm gonna get this game. We're gonna start this match off hot. After a takedown, I'm just gonna roll you out to the floor. We're gonna go to ringside. So this card is a setup, and what that means is setups can only be played by the player in control, and it has to be the very first thing they do in the spot. So I'm gonna start with that, and I do everything that's listed there. So actions aren't like moves. When you play an action, you do what it says right away. You don't have to. It doesn't connect. So I draw a card. We both move to ringside. Some cards care about that. Nothing this early in the game is going to care about that too much. But during this spot, my moves do +5 damage. So if I connect with any move in this shared turn, I'll lay on an extra 5 damage. So that'll be good. So I can't play that. And that's
It's okay.
doing a head scissors at ringside would be kind of boring anyway, so that doesn't even work. How about sure, how about we do this? Here comes a clothesline. So I'm gonna gain a heat for doing that.
Yep. And then that's an arm extended running move. It's also a strike.
Sure is.
I think I would like to go with a back suplex, which counters arm extended.
Oh, we don't like
that. So we
that.
ducked under and swooped in, and we're going to try this back suplex.
Oh, we don't like this.
So that's behind opponent. Oh, we love this.
I don't have a good answer there.
Sounds wonderful.
Yeah. Well, no. All right. So we're gonna. This rear chin lock is really good, but it's not what we need right now. So I could be discarding for momentum, but I'm actually going to try and find a move to counter back because I have an extra 5 damage waiting for me if I can land a move this turn, and every bit helps. Oh, hey, that's not gonna do it.
Okay.
Oh, this is the sad face. I'm going to take 8 damage and
I'm going to gain the momentum. To ringside, I'll get discarded, and then my move becomes the one that's active. In the first segment, this doesn't really matter, but in future segments, we just track how many in a row get landed. So it's not as big of a deal. And I think we're also doing sprint today, right? Or the fast format.
We're doing sprint. Well, I'll talk about the main event format in a little bit. But this style of turning the card sideways is a good way also to keep track of who has control when the turn starts. For getting into the next step. So that spot is over unless you have a follow-up card.
I do not.
Okay, so we prep our wrestler, we draw a card, and we go on to the next spot.
Well, I would like to go back to ringside because it worked out so well for me, and I would like to draw a card.
Yeah, sorry. So, at the end of any turn, when you're at ringside, you are implied to go back into the ring automatically. We don't have countouts as a thing in this game in that way. But you're just like, nope, get right back out there. We're doing it again.
Get right back out there, Yep. So Jessica rolled out Ricky. Ricky thinks it's time to return the favor. We're going to get back out to ringside. And I would like to kick you. So it's a leg extended.
I don't like that.
Okay.
Reversals are super counters. Basically, when you reverse your opponent, they almost never have an opportunity to counter back. They need something in their hand that lets them overcome that, and we'll see those later on. Reversals do that when your opponent has. Oh no, that's right. You've dealt more. I'm sorry. Everything I just said, ignore that. We're in the sprint mode. You've dealt more damage to me. I get to reverse you. And so here we go. You've kicked, and I'm going to duck your kick. This move can't be played as an attack. It never deals damage because that would be silly. Even if I played to ringside, I would not get extra damage for ducking you at ringside. When I played, I may discard a card to draw a card. I am going to do that.
Okay.
And I'm going to land a cheeky duck. So there we go. So I gain a momentum.
So I do get to respond.
Oh yeah,
in this
so
window.
That's right. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so
that's okay.
There are cards in the game that, for instance, let you overcome the fact that you're being reversed, and there's also an opportunity here for you to exert your wrestler and cycle cards or gain momentum.
Yeah, that's the one I'm looking to do. So I'm gonna exert Ricky, and I am going to move away from my chin lock because since I saw you discard your grapple. And I will draw a card. Okay. Right. Now you can now your duck can land. My back suplex will become exerted, and I will ready.
All right, we're back in the ring. I have already preemptively gained the momentum, and now we go.
I did not. Oh, I take no damage. That's right.
Yep. Okay. I This is great. I love drawing this early. This is a big advantage for drawing out of your playbook early. So here's a game plan. Game plan, stay in play. This is called advantage precision. You attach it to your wrestler. That's how we indicate that it stays in play. I draw a card, and importantly, this means whenever I connect with a strike move, I get to start hurting my opponent's body parts. And we'll talk about how that matters in a bit, but I want to hurt my opponent's arm and then make them submit. Let's see if I can find a strike card in my hand. Do I have one? I do. Here we go. Here's an elbow to the head.
Well, it's a good thing I hold on to my head scissors, which counters standing over.
Oh no.
When this gets played, I get to look at the top card of any deck. I'm going to choose to look at the top card of your basics deck. So I'm just going to take this over here
It's always great
and take a little peek.
Yeah. So as you can see here, you can look at any deck. So this lets him get some knowledge of what I'm drawing ahead of time.
We're going to leave that on top.
It's always great when your opponent looks at your deck and says, "You know what? Actually, you can have that card." That's good. That's really good.
And we have our grapple in play.
Okay. I need a grapple counter. And by doing that unless he's going for the biggest head move ever, the card that he just put on top of the deck does not counter it. So maybe
would I do that?
Yeah, well, yes. Maybe I think I discard for momentum and just eat it.
Okay.
So we'll do that. I'll discard for momentum.
Sure.
Putting me to 6.
So my move's going to land. So you're going to take 3. I'm
taken
going
3
to
of 11.
draw. Yep. This doesn't put you on the mat. It just required you to be there to begin. So we can go ahead. I am ready to draw my card.
Yep. Likewise.
All right. All right. I'm going to throw a knee lift, which is an in-close move, but it cannot be countered by in-close moves. So it's a little tricky, but it's a good one.
It sure is. I have a fireman's carry.
Yep.
That's going to counter that knee lift. I feel like I'm being set up for something, but here we go. Here's my head down move.
No, you're not being set up.
Oh, yay.
I'm going to exert, and I'm going to gain a momentum.
Okay.
So
excellent.
fireman's carry is going to land.
Yeah, so you take 3 damage. I gain a momentum for landing the move.
Yep. Yeah, I take 3 damage, you said, right?
That's right. Okay,
Yep.
so several things happen here. So this is not a strike move. Advantage precision isn't going to do anything. But I win the segment because I have landed a 3rd move. So what that means is my opponent is going to lose 1 tenacity. Tenacity is used with pinning. You will see that coming up very soon. I gain a heat for winning the segment, which is also used for pinning, among other things. Then you take all the cards you had, all your moves, and now they go into the discard pile. And now you can discard any or all of the cards in your hand, and then you draw back up to 6 cards total. One of the key features of our game is you can get behind, but you aren't destined to stay behind. Card advantage only helps you so much in this game, and card disadvantage only hurts you so much in this game because after every segment, you have an opportunity to reset your hand, gather your thoughts, to put it into wrestling context and to have another go. Or to translate into how the stories of matches go, we have exited the opening segment and now we're getting into the heart of the match. I'm going to, I like those cards. I like those cards a lot, actually. So we're just gonna draw 3 from the playbook and get into it. All right.
Okay.
So so my wrestler card flips over when I lose a segment. His wrestler card flips over when I get him to 16 damage, and flipping over is part of how you get closer to winning. All right, let's go. So I will. Oh, that is a great card. That's amazing. Okay. Sure. I'm gonna start with a round kick. Now, I could have exerted for gaining momentum or cycling cards, but I like all of my cards, so I'm going to hang on to them for now.
Okay. I'm going to exert. Yeah. And see
Oh,
if
he's going
we get
fishing.
one. Nope. We're gonna just take it, so it's 4.
Take 4, please.
I also lose a momentum. I don't have more than 5 heat, so I don't have to worry about that.
I have a follow-up.
Okay.
I am.
You also need to use your, or you can use your strike.
Oh, that's right. Yes, it's a strike. Yeah. So I will hurt your head. Um,
And
and
I'm assuming by what you played, I'm also gonna grab that
yes, I don't. Where are you grabbing this card from?
right here.
Oh, they're in that deck. Okay, yeah, I couldn't find them.
Yep,
Okay, yes.
that's okay.
So I connect with the strike move. I hurt one of their body parts, so I'm gonna hurt their head. The arm collector, draw a card, and you just hurt the arm. We have little markers here. There'll be trackers in the product that you can use instead. These don't do anything by themselves, but they enable a whole bunch of other things. Like, for instance, whenever I hurt my opponent's arm, so in the future, I get to look at the top card of my basics deck and then put it on the top or the bottom of that deck. So that'll let me craft my future. It's a reward for that. And even more importantly, the arm connector is yet another way to hurt my opponent's arm, get closer to landing my submission move to try and win the match later. So I'm just going to put that right here. And now we go to the next spot. I gain a momentum because I hit you, and I did not do that. All right, now then, let's draw. Oh, I also didn't draw for playing the arm collector, so I should do that too.
Sure.
Ooh, look what I drew. And that card is expensive, so I need to earn my way up to that. So let's all right. Let's Oh, I love this card. That's the damnedest Luthez press I ever saw. Couple of PWA's finest tag teams in this match, by the way, in this photo, by the way. Yeah, Joker and
So
the Thieves.
in close, huh?
Yep, in close. Cannot be countered by
Right.
in close moves. It's another one of those. And if this connects, it staggers him. And staggering is pretty good. It means that it makes it harder for him to counter my next move.
But instead, I have an arm extended counter. When it's played, I gain a heat, so I'm going to grab one of these, slide it over here.
Okay. Arm extended. Oh, I have one of those. Yeah, sure. Yeah. I'm going to duck your clothesline and then throw you back for a back suplex.
This feels familiar. Okay.
I know, right?
It's like we did this earlier. All right, so that's behind opponent.
I am now behind you a little.
Ah, only I had kept my elbow. But I have a different elbow. I will elbow to the back of the head, and I'll spend a heat so it can counter behind opponent.
And we don't like this because when this connects, I'm going to discard a card, and we don't want that to happen. So
Yeah, and it's standing over.
Yeah, standing over. Yeah, sure. You know what? No, I'm not having it. I'm going to arm drag that. We're going
so
right
arm drag
through
is
our hands.
close.
So I am in close once again. So
all right. Well.
Yeah. Go ahead. What do you got for me?
So I'm going to play my shoulder block, which is an in-close move and counters in-close.
Oh, you have the counter to the counter to the counter to the counter? Is that right?
And so far, we'll see if you have the counter back.
Thankfully, you don't have 8 momentum. Otherwise, you would have been reversing me and
I have less damage. So
yeah.
It wouldn't have been
that's
a
right.
reversal.
You have less damage.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm so used to
being behind.
Yeah. All right.
It's okay.
Let's
Shoulder block coming in hot.
Shoulder in close. Yeah, sure. Okay. Well, speaking of, I do have 8 momentum, and I have more damage on me, which means this is a reversal. It reverses in close moves, which means that he cannot counter back. So he's going to take 4 damage and get knocked down. Woo!
You also have landed a
counter.
Reversal counter, yes. Yeah. So reversals are super counters, so they count for Jessica's move. This is not a strike, and you did not hurt my arm, so you don't have to worry about your permanent cards, and we can just draw and go.
Draw for turn.
Unless you have a follow-up?
Nope.
Okay.
Let's see. I also gain a momentum because I landed the move.
Yep.
Okay. How about a knee lift?
Okay, so that's in close, but it can't be countered by in close.
That's right.
So I'm going to exert and go fishing. I'm going to draw a card. This is a head down and counters in close, so that works.
No bueno.
Fireman's carry, head down.
Okay, I'm gonna leapfrog your attempt to fireman's carry. That kind of works. You kind of. I'm gonna jump out of it, I suppose. We can call that a leapfrog. So this is not a reversal.
Sure.
This is just a counter. I'm flying, which is, totally safe.
You're flying and agility, huh?
And agility. That's correct.
Well, that's going to happen. So, okay. Once again, it can't deal damage, so it just happens.
So
and then we're going to...
So looking at this when this connects, if my next move is running, it cannot be countered, which is it can be reversed because reverse ignores that. And you have more damage. But the segment is going to end here, so I'm going to definitely be looking for a running move if I can find one. So I've gained a momentum, and now we clear this off. I have won a second segment somehow, which is a rare feat, but I will definitely take it. And now we can reset our hands.
You're in control still.
I am in control. None of those are running. I really want to find a running card. All right, so okay, we're actually gonna cycle a card here to try and find a running card.
Okay.
And I did not. That's okay. All right, I'm going to go for it, and I have a strike card. Ooh, and I drew a strike running card. Oh my god, this might be the best turn I've ever had in my entire life. All right, here we go. Here is Organic Meteora, which is one of her trademark moves. So
sure.
When this is played,
I will discard for the stagger. I will discard pile driver. Oh, sorry, never mind. We changed. This it has to be 5 or less, right? Never mind.
No. Am I being reversed? Being reversed.
Yeah. The shoe's on the other foot now.
The reversal.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. And so you have discarded a card for staggered. So now this leaves play, and now he has arm dragged me, which is a reversal, and I do not have a card to deal with that. So I'm just gonna take it. So no extra damage for me. No big move. No, that's just. I'm a little bit sad. Justice. Yep. All right, I'm taking it. Taking one. New turn.
Okay. I'm gonna try ankle pick, which is a grapple.
There's Zack Sabre Jr. We have a better picture for this coming. He was so gracious in allowing us to include him in this game. And let's see. Grapple, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I gotta. This is very much a thing you're gonna see in a Zack Sabre Jr. match. I'm gonna come right around and kick right through it.
Okay. I'm gonna exert and draw.
That's almost the definition of strong style right there.
Yep. And I'm going to get kicked, so I take 3 damage.
I'll go to 11 momentum.
You draw a card because you're Jessica. Right, because this is the first move you've landed. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Let's.
The second segment did end, right? So didn't one of us?
Oh yeah, you were supposed to lose another. There we go. And you
Oh yeah, and
you're
you're
not
supposed
gain heat.
to gain another heat. Yep.
Yep. I was so excited
I'm
about
also.
I was so excited about getting
Mhm.
an uncounterable move, which got countered, but it's fine.
Yep. So we also the kick just landed, which is 16 damage. So I flip over. So on this side, as a follow-up to strength takedowns, I can spend heat to get rid of your game plans. So hopefully we can start protecting ourselves a little more. I also need to get some more heat, but that's
Yeah.
a future me problem.
It's a future problem. Okay. Um.
So
Okay.
I am no longer exerted.
I'm going to go for a big old DDT. This can't
I
be
don't think
countered.
I drew. I don't think I drew yet.
You did not draw. I don't think.
Yeah. Yep.
Uh,
Okay. You're going for a
cannot be
DDT.
countered by head down moves. I am in close to you. Now, if this hits, he's stunned, and if you're being stunned is very bad. So he will do everything he can to try and counter if he can.
Nope. We'll go fishing. See what we find. Nope. So we're gonna get hit by the DDT. So take 11
Wow.
damage.
Okay.
You gain a momentum. I think you just did.
Yep. So your head
My
is
head is
already
already
hurt. So you have
hurt.
to discard a card for it.
Okay. So I'm just going to make a
No,
little
you choose your
pile.
discard. It's not random.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yep. It
Sure.
used to be
Cards.
random, and it was way too good. Okay.
Fair
All
enough.
right. Because he's stunned, I'm going to take this opportunity to try and go for the pin here. So let's talk about how pinnings work. To try and pin, you have to spend a heat, which I'm going to do. And when you are pinned, you flip cards off the top of your basics deck. You compare
Sure.
the amount of fortitude you have. He has 1 fortitude with the cost of the cards that he's flipping over. So he needs to flip a card over that costs 1 to kick out. Because he's stunned, so you get to flip over 3 cards, like the referee's counting 1, 2, 3. Because he's stunned, we're going to ignore the first card that he flips over. So here comes the pin. Now, if he had a card that would let him escape a pin, he would ordinarily be able to play it now. But he's stunned, so he can't. So we just get to it. So let's flip over.
Well, there are cards that get you stunned, but I don't have
that's
any
true.
of them right now.
Okay.
Yeah. It's also, this is tenacity. I think you said fortitude. Just want to make sure
Yeah,
we have that
tenacity.
set for
Tenacity. I
everybody. Yep.
apologize. Yes.
That's okay. We've been playing with different names, but I think we ended up on tenacity.
Yay,
I
game
only have
development.
one card. I only have one card on my basics deck. We're going to ignore it.
Oh, here we
Then
go.
I flip out of here,
That's
and I don't
1,
kick out,
2,
and I lose.
3.
Yay!
Yay! After I hit the big old DDT, we hit the 1, 2, 3, and while that did not happen in the main event in this match, that has happened between the two of them actually last summer. So there you go.
Cool.
That's the faster, shorter version of this game. This video is taken about a half an hour. When you're playing with the cards in person, it goes about twice as fast. So that would have been like a 15-minute game. We also have a larger form of the game called Main Event. And Tom, maybe you can talk about the difference for how Main Event gives you more control over your fate.
Yeah, so main event's actually really interesting. So it's very similar to this and how the beginning of the game plays out. The only big change happens during the in-between segments. There's something called the bag of tricks, where each wrestler gets to even further have their player expression and explain how they want to interact with the game. And what you do is you take moves from your playbooks, and in some cases even outside of your playbooks, and create almost like a side deck that is not something that you can normally access. And then you can get cards. The loser of the segment gets to pick the card out of their bag of tricks, and the winner of the segment gets one at random. And the reason why we do it that way is another kind of way to catch up the mechanic. That way you don't lose the first segment and lose the game. And so you can do a lot of really interesting things with how you construct your bag of tricks, and a lot of interesting cards exist that will put cards into the bag of tricks and take them out and do other fun things. But that's really where a lot of the extra strategic moves can happen. This is more of a slobber knocker. Let's just throw some moves and see what happens.
Yep. The best way for me to try to have explained it is that this match, the default move, the default format, we also call a sprint. It's like the first or second match you would see on a wrestling show. Fast, exciting, brutal, amazing, and fun. But the other format, the main event, the best players of card games will shine. This is the format where the more time you spend analyzing and crafting your strategy, the more likely you are to succeed. Players of Magic the Gathering are familiar with this sort of thing. It's like a sideboard, but in our game, it's more like a living board. It's an integral part to every match. It's not a thing that you're swapping in and out of between games because it's, this is for one fall. Jessica winning by pinfall is very possible. You just saw it happen. I did get a little bit lucky earlier on with some of the moves. How she normally wins, here's her finisher, La Jessica. This is literally the moment that ended the title reign. And you see here, she normally wins by connecting with her submission move. She wants to hurt the arm and then land this. And you can see it's very difficult to counter this move because of the when played effect. That's her finisher. And can we fish up? Do you have? Oh, there we go. Good. Oh yeah, look at that picture. I was there when this happened, and if you watch this on Fight TV on Triller TV, you can actually hear me scream. I like her neck did things necks are not supposed to do, and she got up, she fought through it, and well, she's a champ. But yeah, this card's ridiculous, right?
It's certainly amazing when it hits. As we saw, Stun's really effective, and then it makes your opponent discard their hand and then draw 2 cards. So it doesn't make them just lose outright. They do get to draw 2. But realistically, if you hit this early on in a segment, or even just at a point when they have more cards than 2, it'll take away a lot of their options, and then they're at the fate of their top 2 cards.
That's right.
So any of the crafting or planning that they've done kind of goes out the window.
Yeah, if they've been saving a distract the referee card or a one of the cards that lets you remove stunning, that's a thing you can save in case of emergency, especially in the main event format. Like if I were facing someone else and I was afraid of their finisher stunning me, I would grab, I think it's called toughness. I would grab toughness out of my bag of tricks and run it out here. Or for instance, here's another card. Here's Hey Ref, which is a great thing to do if your opponent, I put this in a lot of my bags of tricks. So if I'm facing a shady character like Ricky South or, like the Joker and the Thief, even though they're fun-loving criminals, they are shady people, and they do things you ought not to. And this is an opportunity to have referee Hannah here say, hey, knock that off. I love the main event format, even though I'm not particularly good at it. I let the other guys on the team really shine with that. So yeah. I guess the only other thing I really want to mention is, the talent of Pro Wrestling Australia. We've been very fortunate to work with them on this project, and you can see like the amazing ringside photos we got from Sarah. Sarah like this photo was amazing. She's the only one who got it, and the talent was very giving of their time to help talk about what makes them tick, and that's why Ricky South is the example. That's why Jessica Troy is the granola grappler. And if you have never had the opportunity to see Pro Wrestling Australia, if for instance you're not in Australia, we know that I'm originally not from here. I fell in love with them when I moved down here. You can check them out at prowrestlingaustralia.com.au, and on YouTube. They have some of their pay-per-views up for free. And if you're on Triller TV, you can see their upcoming event, King of the Metro, and some other future events up there as well. yeah, I guess that's it. So, GG, Tom. I guess we were lucky that we were
Again.
recording the one time I finally did pin you. All right, that's it. And yeah, please, thank you for watching the video. Hit us in the comments section, and if you are backing us on Kickstarter, we greatly appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah, so thanks.